Hey everyone, it's me, Pastor and Bogat. Today I just figured that I'll make another video. This time, this is one of those serious videos because it's really about self-improvement. But then within that same line of thought is that type of improvement that helps you to appreciate what you're getting yourself into. What I mean by that is before individuals get into a relationship with anyone, either it be demonic, human, or whatever, truth or false. And I know this depends on the person, those who are watching, including myself. Truth or false. When people hear good news about anyone, do they really think about the bad before they get into that particular relationship? See, if you think about that question, that really does raises a lot of question more than answers. The reason why I say that is because when good things happen to us, we don't think about the consequences. In fact, we take little time to think about the consequences because, hell, something good just happened. We just automatically just run to that and we want to claim it for ourselves. We think that this woman is very beautiful. We think that's a good thing, or we equivalent that to something that's good, and we don't think about who and what she is deep inside. And the same thing goes for you women, you know. But the point that I'm trying to make, though, I'm trying to facilitate this by means of looking at the black magic that we do, or the contract, if I could use that, or the dedication right that we have with Satan or any of the demons. You know, we're not thinking about the long-term event. You know what I mean? Because a lot of us, like myself, we don't think before we just go ahead and do things. Like, if I use myself for an example, before I even got to know Satan for who he really is as an individual, which took baby steps, I simply just figured that I should have a lifetime commitment to him. And mind you, I'm not trying to give myself some sort of excuse, but at the time, that's all I really knew. You get what I'm trying to say? So it's like I made a lifetime commitment with Satan, did a blood dedication, you know, and I ended up experiencing a lot of stuff with Satan that I wish I knew beforehand. I mean, even if I did know, it was very elusive. I mean, like, for example, if someone says, well, this is the left-hand path and it's very dark and it's not easy, yeah, cool, I get that, but that's not really explaining anything. I mean, that's an equivocation fallacy. In other words, you could use the word darkness and that could mean loads of anything. You know what I mean? So you're really putting that type of thinking into the minds of someone who obviously is not experienced, and that's not really good. Or you could use an equivocation fallacy in our normal day-to-day life when you're dating someone. When you tell someone, hey, look, I don't think it's a good idea dating me. Yeah, fine, if you're not asking the right questions and you're not really opening up to that person who made that statement, you know, like, for example, what do you mean by it's not a good idea? Keyword, not a good idea. See, the point is, we're not really asking the right questions, nor are we going about it the right way in order to deviate ourselves for a potential harm. And the reason why I say that with question mark is because that's really perceptive of the individual if they think about that from the very get-go. But then at the same time, when you think about what harm really is, it really is subjective to the individual, because what Satan does to me could not be so harmful as he may do the same thing to you. Therefore, that's why we take that question mark away from the word harm and we get answers. We need satisfiable and reliable answers. We need them. You know, sorry for that pause there. I had to drink something. But still, the show must go on, right? But you understand what I'm trying to say. Because if we're not really doing what we should do by arriving at these important points within our lives, that we're not going to benefit, and then we're end up being that individual, you know, because you're embarrassed, you did something, you wish you had at least more information than what you currently have, but now you're hurt. Hence I said harm. So, this is what I'm saying as we develop this topic. When people make a dedication to Satan, they may feel that Satan himself or any of the demonic are punishing them, they're hurting them, they're being even petty, sadistic, and all this other stuff, just because they asked for something simple. Like they did some love spell, which I like to call a lust spell. Not that I'm saying that demons are not capable of love, it's just that you need to be careful what you wish for, if that makes sense. And when you go to something that is a dark lord and you're not asking the right questions, well, they're going to give you what you asked for. But if the individual starts to be kinky and what you meant by love was simply like, well, holding hands and, hands to hands and holy matrimony, and that didn't come about, well, you wasn't using specificity. I mean, after all, did you even do research on that particular demon? You get what I'm trying to say? And now we're hurt. Now we feel that this demon or this devil is so evil beyond redemption that they fucked us over. Well, it's like a give and take. The reason why I say that is this. I remember when I asked Satan for my windfall, right? Great wealth, great riches. And I was being very specific. I did not mean spiritually riches, prosperity, and abundance, because all these things can mean a different, meanings to it. They can have different meanings to it. But I was using specificity. I said, this is monetary gain, this is money, this is something that I can live off of. I want my own business one day. And I was being as lucid as could be. But what I did not know is the fact that over time, Satan was going to turn my life upside down. That's like losing my job. And amongst other things, but I'll stick with that. Now, I'm not saying that it's Satan's fault that he did that, because I was semi-aware of it, because I did research every now and then, and it led me to how the demonic hierarchy interacts with us in their physical plane and what they do when you ask for stuff, where it's like, it's kind of, a horrible thing, but it's not, because I lost my job, but it is what I asked for, even though I didn't. Let me explain. I know it sounds convoluted. You see, I did ask for that because when you don't do your research and you're asking a particular demon to do stuff for you, that's actually within their nature. It's the left-hand path, for crying out loud. You see, when they act according to their nature, they're only doing that. That's the same as a baby just being a baby. It's not going to act anything else but what its true nature is, and you cannot deny that. You deny the baby its nature, then you're going to have a very, very difficult time. A very difficult time. And that's how I saw Satan. When he came to me and told me that he has taken my job away personally, because he's only pushing me closer and closer to my manifestation, and then Belial comes months later and telling me that if I continue on the path of being completely objective in my thinking, and only objective and not intuitive, not giving in to my feminine side, then I'm not gonna have a really good time in understanding how is my manifestation going to, unfold. And he's right about that, because when I put everything together and I saw that Satan was actually doing what Satan would do best, and that's taking my life and turning it upside down so he could make space for me. He wasn't punishing me, he wasn't being petty, he's just simply doing what, a devil would do. Does it hurt that I lost my job? Yeah, and I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in, but if Satan is making space for me so I could be better receptive in receiving my manifestation, then my question now is, how is he wrong? Perhaps wrong in the sense of, if I lacked knowledge on my own part and I remained to be that way, and I chose not to develop and grow in the left-hand path, that I could understand why people end up leaving the left-hand path left and right by the droves and then shift blame on Satan and the demons because they lacked knowledge. They lacked that drive to pull through, get to know their dark side by learning how to do shadow work, to develop, to face that fear, and to be pushed forward. And then if they didn't do all those steps, plus stuff that I did not mention, then yeah, I can see why they did not make it very far. And that's why when I look at my own personal life, it's not that Satan is punishing me. It's not that he hates me. It's not that he's lying to me. No, I'm going to face my fears. Even if one of my greatest principles is that I don't like lies around me, what do you think Satan is going to do? He's going to purposely lie, if you will, that's imaginary air quotes, so that I could face that and I could learn something out of that. See, if I don't like the very idea that I'm not ever going to receive my manifestation, that windfall, what do you think he's going to put in front of me? Well, that fear, so that I could face it and I could overcome it. And if individuals are still on the left-hand path and they're not really developing that sort of understanding, then I suggest you do so if you want to remain. Now, as this video continues on, I just want you friends to understand that I'm just trying to make this video in such a way where it serves as a guideline, trying to help you to benefit so that you can understand how things really work. Because sometimes when we get out of these religions, we still are programmed to think in a Christian, Muslim, whatever major religion that you come from, and we judge Satan, we judge the demon based off of our prior understanding without really developing, let's say, a stronger awareness of self. Because once you start meditating, you start doing shadow work, all that stuff comes to the surface, and you may feel that that within itself is an attack by the particular demon, but it's not. Because once you do meditation, the most deepest recesses of your mind, right, it's going to come up to the surface, and you have to face that. It's shadow work. I can understand. You could be terrified, you could be afraid, but you have to in order to grow. And you may come to a level, a point in your satanic relationship with the particular devil, and they may, and I said this before, I alluded to it before, they may purposely lie. They may purposely put mistrust your way. But believe me, it's going to be for your benefit. Mark my words. When Satan supposedly, I hit the word supposedly, lied to me, it was for my benefit. I know it's convoluted, it has an irony to it, but I better understood why he did what he did. And it goes back to what I'm saying, to face my fears. And I learned so much from that. Not to be too rigid, but to be flexible. See, he's not teaching me to take my principles and throw it in the garbage. No, he's telling me to do the opposite. Be flexible. Be that sword that's sharp and powerful. But you need to put that sharp and powerful sword on a whetstone. Sharpen it frequently, but then at the same time, make sure that as you're making that sword more stronger, more powerful, make sure it's flexible. Because if I wasn't flexible, and I was only a strong but stern sword, I would have broke immediately. And being a sword that's not flexible is not a good thing. But it's interestingly enough that I was able to learn that through the darkness. Darkness meaning that I had to be lied to, purposely and seemingly a lie, in order for me to arrive at the answer. So please, I want you friends to understand that if you're trying to get over that hump, that hole, or you have this void and you are shocked beyond belief on why Seteri, Sorath, any of the demonic has lied to you, they have done something that seems sadistic, please remember this video. Satan is a masterful teacher. it may seem very frustrating, because it is frustrating, because someone seemingly lied to you. But with this video, you could at least have a peace of mind. That is not a lie to hurt you maliciously, to keep you down. But you should ask questions, and asking those questions, either it's to me by email, I have an Instagram or Facebook you can contact me by, or even by comments down below in this video. I will do the best I can to assist and help. And mind you, it's not that Satan or the demon that you're working with will not answer you, but if you're not psychically strong enough and open to receive a verbal communication, or even synchronicities that can lead you to the proper websites from these beautiful beings, look, do not hold back. Don't hold yourself back. Like I said, I've given my email, I've given my Facebook, my Instagram. Contact me. You're not alone. These individuals are meant to be spoken to be at the very feet of Satan or any other demonic that you want to work with, to be under their tutelage. It's just that they do it in a very dark way. And remember, when I use the word darkness, it's not in a way where you think it is. Like, I'm not giving you an equivocation fallacy. I am saying that they lie to you, but then at the same time, they really don't lie to you. It's convoluted, it's contradictory, it's paradoxical, I get it, but it takes time for you to really warm up to Satan and to understand his thinking, like I have. And I'm still going through it, but at least I know more than many individuals that don't have a relationship with him. Hell, I remember recently, I had a vision that I have seen a full picture, a portrait of Satan, helping me to appreciate, I understand who he is now than what I ever did in the past. And that's a good thing, that Satan is opening up to me by saying he has shared with me his full length, or even the aspect that he's trying to share with me, and what he's capable, how far he's willing to go to get me to change. Does it hurt? Yeah, it does hurt. But he's doing that to make you grow and to ascend to that God that you should be. So with all that said and done, please friends, like I said, contact me so that you can get the answers you need. Please subscribe to this channel and smash that like button. And all of you, I'll see you next time in my video. See you soon, fans.